Venom is an extremely divisive superhero movie. Some people love it and most people hate it. Some fans say that the movie is a faithful adaptation of the comic version of Venom, that it shows Venom exactly how he's supposed to be portrayed.
Like a turd in the wind.
I, for one, have a unique take on the flick. I believe that Venom is the Citizen Kane of superhero movies, the Logan and Dark Knight of Spider-Man movies. Yes, I am dead serious. It has been clear that the people overlook the true meaning behind the Venom movie, which explains why it only has a 29% score on Rotten Tomatoes. Few people know exactly what I am talking about, and to those few people... cool. I guess you don't really need to watch the video. But to those people who don't know what I am talking about, here is what I am talking about.
Doesn't care about these people any more than the killer does. I'm Eddie Brock, and this is the Brock Report.
Venom is not your ordinary superhero movie. No, it is not. Throughout the film, the main character Eddie Brock, played by famed actor Tom Hardy, faces many tasks to develop himself and get back the life he had at the beginning of the film. But his biggest problem, the part people missed, is autism. The movie acts as a commentary on how people who struggle with disorders can be shunned by the public just because they're different. As you can see within the first 10 minutes of the movie, Eddie has a normal life and is accepted by his peers. He has a girlfriend, a kick-ass personality, a good job, and to top it off, a badass motorcycle. When Eddie arrives at the news building, he parks in the front where no parking is allowed, displaying for us his Chad-like, no fucks given attitude, the guy who you're afraid to take home to mom because he probably wears a leather jacket and stabs Post Malone in the neck. Once he walks into the building, he displays his charismatic charm during his conversation with Richard. After the conversation is over, you can see the pleasure on Richard's face by being able to talk with the coolest dude in the galaxy. After this is when the first sign of Eddie's autism shows. During his interview with Carlton Drake, he shows a common sign of autism, which is a struggle with communicating.
That's still extremely young, right? You create, then rockets, you're gonna go and explore space.
He doesn't really know how to formulate his questions, and this sadly ends up getting him into a lot of trouble when he starts talking about his random conspiracy theories about Mr. Drake that he probably discussed with some losers over on Reddit. This mistake cost Eddie everything: his job, his friends, and his girlfriend. Eddie lives a sad, lonely life where he can't get a job and has to eat food out of the trash. Eventually, some lady comes up to Eddie and offers him a cure for his disability, an offer Eddie cannot refuse.
Why would I believe you?
Because it's true. I believed in him, and I told myself that it was worth it because we were cured.
Autism.
This is different. Something else.
The cure being the Venom symbiote. But Eddie fucks up again and doesn't take the cure like how the instructions say, and it ends up having a violent side effect. I kinda understand though, those bottles have some tiny ass fonts, making me look like an old man or some shit. The conflict between Eddie and the cure intensifies his autism to extreme heights. He throws himself into a lobster tank and starts stealing people's food off of their plates. Fast forward a bit and Venom and Eddie have a civil conversation.
You are a loser, Eddie.
This is when the cure starts working. The symbiote starts improving Eddie by helping him with problems caused by his autism, such as climbing up skyscrapers or eating SWAT people. Or, helping him with communicating with others, like when he tells Eddie what to say to Anne in the car.
You never apologized. You might not live to get another chance.
But then we get the biggest plot twist of them all. Venom is a lying fuck and isn't as cool as he seemed.
On my planet, I am kind of
autism.
like you, but here, we could be more.
Excuse me?
He's probably the guy who lies about his height on Tinder, or that type of guy that doesn't put autism in his bio. But this is when the underlying themes get deeper. Eddie and Venom form a friendship by connecting through their shared problem. They can't really cure their disorders. They can find a way to be at ease with them through each other. Like how in math, when you multiply two negatives, the product is positive. Which brings us to the main point. Friendship can cure anything. Meanwhile, after Carlton Drake sees how much play Eddie gets,
Oh, that's hot. That's hot.
he realizes that having autism is in style and decides to get himself a symbiote buddy. But once again, in math, when you multiply a negative with a positive, the product is negative. The two symbiotes with their hosts eventually meet and have an incredible fight scene that totally doesn't look like spaghetti porn at all. The film doesn't end without showing us Eddie and Venom both achieving their final forms. The charismatic, eats people kind of guy, the guy who doesn't lie about his height on Tinder, but instead does it on Christian Mingle. 10 out of 10, perfect storytelling, IGN. This movie was way ahead of its time, and now that the Sony and Disney deal went south, maybe we can explore even more of Eddie and the Venom symbiote's autism. And maybe a crossover between Venom and Spider-Man, I don't know, who knows, not me. To wrap up, Venom is not a story of superheroes or anti-heroes. It is about a man who gets shunned by society and tries to find a cure for his disability, but along the way, he makes a friend with the same goal as him. And they both realize that they can just be themselves because friendship is the real cure. A cure even for depression.
Could be a woman. You seen Tootsie? You said causing and body and...
Stop doing that now.
You, whoever you are, you suck.
Food.
Who said that? I know it sounds crazy. This is dead. Dead. Hey, Dad, would this parasite, would like be able to make me, I don't know, like climb a really tall tree, but super